shall we do some bonus content today?
Sure, let's do the bonus content. I'm
Okay.
slightly less full of tiny chickens today.
Excellent. We have to do a monthly check-in for a seasonal bingo card because I know and I'm using the royal we here, because if we don't, we will forget we have a bingo card to work on.
This has been a problem in previous years.
This has been for both of us. This is a both of us problem. So we're gonna do monthly check-ins so that the bingo card stays on that back burner in the brain pan going, "Hello, I am a task to which you have signed up for."
I got smart this year and I have a shelf right here just off camera, which you can kind of see in the reflection back there now. And that blank space
Yeah,
on the side of the shelf, that's
yeah.
where my bingo card has been taped.
Does it help?
Yes, because I see it all the time now.
Excellent. Good. I was just looking at as I was filling in the bingo card earlier today, and I was looking at going, oh, oh, there's some things I want to work on. These will fill in some squares. Like past Jocelyn was a genius.
Mm-hmm.
Genius with this card
I
setup.
can't
I
believe
am
I didn't
so
put used
happy.
scraps on here with all my scrappy blankets. I'm very upset that I don't have a
I don't
scrap
know.
square.
I don't know. I'll have a scrap square for the next quarter. Uh, quick rundown if anybody is tuning in going, seasonal bingo cards? What are you
Fair.
babbling about? We broke down the yearly bingo card for crafting challenges into seasonal ones, so they will change every quarter, so every 3 months. So right now we are doing a winter bingo seasonal card. This will run until the spring equinox when we will flip over to oh, cough, flip
Bless you.
over to a spring bingo card. I just have bad lungs. I have no excuse for the cough. It just happens. That's okay. That's why we have bubbles. That's because my tea's too hot to drink right now.
Well, that was foolish.
Whoopsie. It'll cool down and then I can drink it then. It's fine. So, to keep up with that, what we're doing? Nope, that's not right. Let's try that again. So, as we endeavor to be better at our bingo cards, we're hoping the seasonal structure keeps it in our brain pan better and allows us to actually get some stuff done that we would like to get done in our crafting life. So, hopefully, you guys have joined us. If you haven't, no worries. Feel free to cheerlead along with us. As always, super appreciate if you guys could hit the like button down below, above, beside. Don't know how you got your YouTube set up. And if you have a comment or a question, throw it down in below and we will reply to you. It might take me a day or two. If you want Diana, page Diana, I will go find her, but we will reply. All right,
If you'd
let's
like a
go.
copy of the seasonal bingo card, I'll link to
Yes,
that in the description box.
you totally made one for everybody. That's right.
I did. I
Oh, so
realized way
good.
too late that I made it completely the wrong size. I
Oops.
meant to make it on like a regular sheet of paper, but I accidentally made it 5 by 7 instead of 8 and a half by 11. I will fix that next season. So the winter bingo card's just little, and I'm sorry about it. I'll fix it for spring.
Okay. That's delightful. Alrighty. In which case, I think we should go over our squares and talk about where we are and where we hope to be and how we're feeling about our square bingo card situation. Situation?
Who wants to go first?
Um, I tend to go first all the time, so I'll go first. I don't mind.
Go
It's
for
not
it.
a problem for me. Let's pull up my bingo card. Let's take a looky-loo. Mine is not physical, mine is digital because I'm going blind and I no longer can read physical print. So, and I do mean any physical print. So we are digitized. I'm not doing too bad. I almost have the vertical row done.
Nice.
And that is not too shabby. I have two squares left in the vertical row and it'll be done. One of them is a sewing finish, and my sewing creeps closer to be okay. So we rearranged the apartment and I'm sorting through and getting rid of a lot of stuff. Right now, my sewing machine has boxes in front of it. I need to get through the boxes to have access to the sewing machine to do the sewing.
Well, that's a problem.
The box pile shrinks every day, so we get closer to the sewing machine. So I am on track to have some sewing finishes before April, March, April, March,
March.
March the 20th or 21st. The other one I have is weave in ends, which I kid you not, will be done the moment the item that is currently blocking and drying on the mats is dry. So
Weave-in
we are,
ends is honestly such a good square.
it is such a good
Sew
square.
on pockets would have been another good square. That's the
Just,
top thing is there to weave in ends, and the thing underneath it is there to sew on pockets.
and I need a couple of those squares, I think, every bingo card. Otherwise, I will not weave in ends. Like, I know I won't. And I don't even find it that onerous of a task. Is that the word? I don't find it that difficult of a task. I'll just put it off because I'm like, it's whatever. It's weaving in ends. I'll do it later, right? Like, oh, dangerous
It'll
words.
take 5 seconds. I'll do it later.
I'll do it later. Um, I put it in a safe space. There are some dangerous adult words. I'll get back to you on that. There's just sentences that should not come out of my mouth. A
It
recipe for
means it's never
disaster.
gonna happen.
Never going to happen. So I will, in about a week or so, I would imagine, given the pace I'm going through my boxes, have the vertical row finished on the chart. So I'm doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. I have caught up on my granny square creation because one of my squares is finished January squares. So long as I finish January squares on time, I can cross that box off. And as of recording, we're sitting on the 18th of January. So like I'm well over half done my first month of the year. So like I'm making good progress. So that's on par. I've got a couple of big ones that I can't finish yet. Like I can't finish February squares till the end of February.
Yeah.
The 2 week sweater challenge is like right around the corner. Like we start the 31st of January right around the corner. Like right there. That start date's real fast. It's coming up real quick.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
hmm
I am
hmm
saying
hmm
nothing about my contributions to that this year,
That's fair.
in that they will likely be zero because I don't have time.
Oh, you can cheer me on. You can cheerlead me. I
There
could
we
use
go.
some
I'll cheerlead.
cheerleaders. Excellent. We've got a couple of other things. I have my impulse cast on, which I'm literally casting on when we're done this. I'm going to make the Beetle Mood Snood from Alt Knots. I held up the project bag in the intro photo. It's a crocheted dramatic cowl situation, like cowl hood snoods thing. Because everybody uses different words, right? Some people use hooded cowl, some people say hood, some people say snood. Like, I don't know. Like, pick your word. We go pull up results. She calls it a snood this time, so that's what I'm calling it. So that's a box. So I already have a box today, which is exciting. I can't weave in ends. Like the my Oak of Life shawl will not be dry today, so I cannot weave in ends today. What else did I get done? I started my podcast anniversary blanket on the 1st. So that's
Yeah.
another square. I should show you the progress on that. I've been making some progress. I have a Whip It or Whip It win. That was my something. Oh, my sister's couch blanket. As I read my own writing, it says my sister's name.
Ah.
So I was like, what did I make my sister? And it was in the Whip It or Rip It because I said I need to get the blanket finished. So I put it in the Whip It or Rip It
Mm-hmm.
after the winter solstice, so it counts. Oh, oh. So I've got a fair number of squares filled in. How did that happen? Okay. I have a lot of squares that are not filled in. They're sewing squares, they're weaving in squares, they're design squares, they're things.
Yeah, I'm thinking February is going to be a heavy pattern design month for me.
Yep. I have one weave and end square done. The niece's boyfriend's scarf. I did those just before Christmas. And what's the other one I got in? Oh, I mended an item. My niece's green and gold crochet cocoon cardigan came home to get repaired, and I repaired it and sent it back at Christmas too.
Excellent.
So I've been pretty freaking busy. Whew, how did that happen? I need to have access to my sewing machine. I have a lot of sewing squares in here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Keep working on those boxes. And you have to open up each small box, see what's in the small box, decide if you need to keep it, decide if you're going to donate it, decide if you're going to get rid of it, decide where it's going to live, if you're going to keep. It's a slow process.
It's a
I
box
will
full of
be.
decisions.
Oh my God, it's a box. There are boxes full of decisions because, like, I pulled out both of the closets worth of stuff, right? Boxes
Bleh.
worth of decisions. But future Jocelyn is going to be so happy that past Jocelyn did all of this prep work for moving well before moving.
Oh yeah.
I've just made my moving smoother. It's just I've made my January boring.
It feels good though. Just get a
Oh,
head
it'll
start on that spring
feel
cleaning.
it's and I've been cleaning as I go. So like and when I move, because the moving's gonna be much smoother, I'm gonna feel really good about it then. I just don't feel good about it now. So yeah. Oh, okay. I might be able to get like 2 or 3 rows if I stay at this pace. Like I've got fingerless mitts in here and a hat in here. Of course. Okay, I can do that. I can totally do this. I can get a couple of bingos. Oh, what am I going to reward myself with? Oh,
That's a great question.
I should start thinking of a reward. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna give that some thought. Give that some thought.
Another cast on.
Um, no. I, I do not need to be encouraged to cast things on.
I know,
That just
right?
happens anyway. Are you nuts? Like I had like 4 new cast-ons in the last couple of weeks. Then I cast it on every day for the 13 days medieval feast days. I mean, I've already finished a couple of those things, but oh, so much cast on. I have the I did it to myself challenge on my own channel. I have to cast that on in the next day or so. But I'm going to I'll show you guys. This is the yarn I'm going to use for my Beetle Mood Snood. It's colorway number 29 and sparkle gray with purple flecks and the Pinot Noir in fingering tweed from Erin of Fireweed Fabrico. That'll be the yarn that I'm using.
I have to turn it off and on and replug and unplug and
You say you're enjoying the ease and convenience of a web camera?
in fact,
All right,
I
excellent.
think it does not look quite as nice as the DSLR, but from a technical perspective, it's so nice.
I think a slight sacrifice in imagery for a smoother running operation that doesn't drive you bonkers is worth it, considering
Yeah.
that it is a very, very small deviation from the DSLR. No one's going to sit there and go, your camera's crappy now.
No, it's definitely weird having the background in focus.
Yes.
So we're gonna have to work on this.
Well, you can always clear up your background.
Yes, well, that's what the stash organizing stream is for.
Or, yeah, that'll be a fun one. I'm excited for that one. A lot of babysitting on my part. It's okay. I have to do my sewing notions this week. Do my entire silver case plus a couple of boxes, like shoe boxes worth of sewing notions. Feel for me. Feel for me. It's going to be at least 3 or 4 hours. I am not
If I get
looking
another
forward to it.
small, if I get like a narrow shelving unit that I can put against this weird ass mirror wall, cover that up, I think I'd feel better about it.
You could. It would just have to be freestanding. Isn't there like a surface, like a table surface?
Yeah,
Yeah, so just have
would
one that
have to
can
be
sit on the
fairly
table.
narrow. So,
That's fine. Look at IKEA.
yeah. The nearest IKEA is stunningly far away.
Oh, that's fine. You can order IKEA.
Yeah.
Just pay for
There's a
shipping.
Walmart just down the street though, so I might start there.
Yeah, start with Walmart first. Start with Walmart first. All right. Shall we do a second half?
Yes, I suppose it's my turn to talk about the things.
Yes, it is, as they say now, the Diana show, which means Jocelyn's going to work on something. What am I going to work on? Oh, no.
All right,
What am I?
so no matter how you slice it, I'm at least 2 squares away from a bingo in any row, column, diagonal.
How'd you manage
I also,
that?
despite having made a very nice, pretty PDF, am I using it? No, of course
No.
not. Something to do with this lack of having a printer. And I just can't be
Um,
bothered to like go down to the library to print a page, you know?
don't ask me. My parents said they didn't need a printer for years. It was useless. They didn't use it often enough. It wasn't a useful purchase. Guess who bought a printer? Because they didn't want to go to the library to get stuff printed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, for all this stuff I need printed, I can just go to the library.
Yeah, but will you? Because if you won't go to the library, then
Well,
that's
I have
not
some
working.
books to return, so I will at some point in the next 2 to 3 weeks be going to the
To the
library.
library? Okay.
All right, going across the rows. I have only completed one thing in the top row. I have a bulky finished object, which was the hooded cowl that I gifted to my mum for Christmas,
Hmm.
but it got finished after Christmas, so it counts for the winter solstice.
Well, the winter solstice was the 21st of December, so it could have been finished just
Yeah,
before Christmas, but yeah, I get your meaning.
yeah, it didn't get finished till the week after Christmas. It's fine.
It's fine.
I will have one more square in that row done. I will have a fingering weight FO
Mhm.
as soon as I finish either the toaster tank or the socks that I'm currently working on. So whichever of those happens first
Ooh, nice.
will be the fingering FO.
I
Then
like.
my next row was all of the use different types of yarn.
Hmm.
So I used mohair while I was working on the Mohairino medley, even though
You
I
did.
later decided to rip it out.
Yeah, that's fine. I still
Mm.
used it.
I have use wool, which will go with either the toaster tank or the socks, whichever one I do not finish first, because one thing for one square. So one of them will be the finished object, and one of them will be the use wool.
That works.
I've not used luxury or hand spun yet. Don't know if I will. Not sure how those squares are getting done. I
Fair.
have, however, used acrylic for my podcast anniversary blanket that used to be the study of snow, that is now just a garter stitch blanket. But I have used acrylic, is the important part.
Yep.
I have done nothing about pattern design. That is going to be a February problem.
Look forward to
I
February's
have.
problem.
I also have done nothing about organizing my stash. That's the entire fourth row is about organizing stash and rehoming things.
Mhm. Yay.
Um, so I'm going to do another organizing stream in
Hmm.
February.
Hmm.
So it will happen. It's planned. It just hasn't happened yet.
That's okay.
And then in the bottom row, I have ripped a whip. I have ripped several whips. There was a whole stream about it for the Patreon members.
There'll be more because she's got more whips.
Uh, I have now organized my notions.
Okay.
That was a stream for YouTube
YouTube members.
members.
Yeah. Yeah. We're making progress. We're making good progress.
Mm-hmm. The notions are all organized. And I did an impulse cast on, which was the incredible blanket by Pearl Soho that I held up in the thumbnail. That was a lovely impulse cast on last week, week before. I don't know. What is
Uh,
time?
but it's time. Who knows at this
What
point?
is time? The rest of the things in that row are having a spinning FO.
Okay.
I'm not sure how that's gonna go because the one on my wheel right now is the advent calendar, and that's a lot. And anything that's partially done is hand spinning, and that just takes forever. Or like drop spinning,
Yeah,
not
six of
spinning
one,
wheel
half a
spinning.
dozen. Six of
Yeah,
one, half a dozen of the other for that. Still possibly doable by March. One of the
doable
two
by
of them.
March.
Yeah.
We'll just see how much I feel like picking it up. And the last square is test knit. So as long as I pick something small, like a hat or mittens or something, I think that's also doable by March. The last couple of
Yes.
years I've done full on colorwork sweaters, and I feel like that's unnecessary. I could do a hat. I can test knit a
So
hat. That would be entirely reasonable.
what I'm hearing is if I get my hat pattern and fingerless mitten pattern finished, you would test knit for me?
Yes, because that would count for a square.
All right. I will put that at the top of the to-do.
So, no matter how you slice it, I'm still 2 squares away from a bingo, but I have plans,
Okay.
so I should get at least a couple of bingos.
Yeah. Which then begs the question, do you know what you're gonna do to treat yourself?
I haven't a hot clue. I don't need to buy more yarn, given that like 5 of these squares are about getting rid of yarn, and I'm getting 2 yarn clubs this year.
You are getting two yarn clubs this year. I
So that seems
think
unnecessary.
I'm going to treat myself to yarn, but I don't have two yarn clubs coming to me this year.
And I don't need to treat myself to more cast-ons, because I'm trying to reduce the number of whips that I have.
Yes.
So I feel like that would not help my case.
Well, yes and no, because you need to knit with your stash or you're gonna explode in your yarn collection. But like maybe small cast-ons, because you've got 7 blankets on the go now. 8
5?
blankets.
No, it's not. It is not 8 blankets. It's
We've
definitely not.
got
It might be
the
5.
advent. We have the Advent blanket.
Hmm.
We have the cool, warm toned scrappy blanket.
That's the incredible blanket.
Is that the incredible blanket?
Yeah, that's the one I just held up.
There's a podcast anniversary blanket, but I feel like you have other blankets on the go.
I have two more. I have two more. There's the 10 stitch blanket that I'm doing with
Okay.
DK and worsted scraps.
Yeah.
And there's the jelly roll blanket that I'm doing in scarf dimensions out of fingering weight scraps.
Okay. I feel like you had
That's
more
only
blankets
5.
at the start of the year. Didn't you have more scrappy blankets at the start of the year?
Nope,
Oh.
that is all my
See,
blankets.
now I need to know. I'm gonna go back and watch our whip sprints. I'm gonna go back and watch our whip sprints. Because now I need to know, right? Like I need to know. All right. Good news is it's done. We've done a check-in for the bingo cards, which is important because that's the stuff we're working on.
We're getting there.
Yeah, we're getting
Progress is being
there.
made.
That's the important part.
I'm hoping to have
Progress.
many more squares checked off for February.
Well, you got the streams and stuff that'll help. So long as you're keep motoring, you'll
Yes,
be
we'll at
doing
least
good.
get organized stash done, so that's good for one more square.
Yeah. I'm working on my podcast anniversary blanket.
See, I'm torn about that because I started the corner to corner and I do like it, but also that's the yarn I'm using for the garter stitch blanket now, and I'm just so torn.
You do have more anniversary Karen cakes.
That's true. I have some right here.
You could just turn them into a corner to corner crochet blanket and continue on with your garter stitch for your podcast anniversary.
This is true.
You have some playroom in there.
I do. I do.
You do. Yeah. Yeah. And you have that
Hmm.
sweater you want to make out of that one ball that Susanna gave you?
Yeah, well, that's that one.
Yeah. You're sitting on like 3 or 4 balls of anniversary Karen cake yarn.
I have, yeah, like
Yeah.
4 full balls of carrot cake anniversary cake right now.
Okay. We need to work on getting you some FOs out of that stuff.
Okay, 2 of them are for the podcast anniversary blanket.
Yeah. Then there's the one Susanna gave you.
Yes,
And then
as
there's that
yet
one left over from
unspoken
the
for.
last time, right? You just have one from the
Yes.
crocheted its pants situation?
Yes, one
Okay.
and a bit
Okay.
left over from that. The and a bit has been spoken for some more slippers for the Charlies.
That's fine. That's fine. Well then you could do a couch throw out of the one ball that you've got left that you pulled back from the its pants. You can make yourself a cozy couch throw.
It's true.
That would be a pretty epic corner to corner.
Whole kilogram of blanket
Well, just imagine curling up under that on a cold day.
with my sweater and my other
Uh-huh.
sweater.
And your other sweater. And your toque and your mittens. Like let's put all the layers on.
I've only made 2 of the sweaters. Only made 2 sweaters so far out of it.
Uh, that could be fun. I'd be really good for cozying up to read and stuff in the evenings. Be really nice.
See how that goes as we head into warmer weather.
Well, if you start now, you might be done in time for fall this fall.
If I start now, I could put them away for summer and then have a mostly finished thing that I can actually finish in fall.
Yes, yeah, that'd be a way of looking at it. That would work. I'm just about done my first big square on this because I'm making big squares and then I'm gonna seam the big squares together. So I'm just about done my first big square. Like
Nice.
going out as big as it gets, and then I get to shrink it down. So I'm just about half done. So which is good. However, that means we're done and we can let all these peeps, lovely peeps go. So I'm gonna
All
say
right.
until the next time I see you, I'm Jocelyn.
And I'm Diana.
And no matter where your week takes you, don't forget to
Don't forget to
craft.
craft.